I do really like it. I love it when the cows collect themselves. And I get down here and I find everybody's already here. But it does make me suspicious. Why did they come in early? Or late, or whatever. I don't think we've called them yet this morning. And yet here they are. It's not that hot out. What are they thinking? What are they doing? Joy, by the way, right here, is doing great. She's starting to put on weight again. Her rumination's normal. Her temperature's normal. She's active and filling her rumen and cranking out milk. So I don't know what was wrong with her, but thank God we caught it and it's better. Now, it got bone-chillingly cold last night down into the, what was it? Well, I'll put the SmaXtec graph here. It was like 30, whatever, it was cold. And supposed to be 20 degrees warmer today than it was this morning. So I had to go move field lines. Now, we weaned Jet yesterday, and this is why. Imagine all calves mooing like that. What's that calf doing? Is that calf asleep or dead? Calves will give you a, hey there, little moo. Sleeping. Okay. Yeah, imagine if all the calves of the same age were crying in the same way. That'd be a hellish raucous noise. And he's just been bawling like crazy. We separated from his mom. She's been bawling too. So that's why most dairies don't allow their cows and calves to bond at all. Because you just end up with a noisy mess. And it's honestly more stressful for everybody. Humans and cows and calves alike. But the tender part of our nature says Jet and Bramble being together for a few weeks wasn't a bad idea. I know this grass is going by, but I find it incredibly beautiful when the grass is this tall and starting to leaf and flower out. And the awns open up, all the different species, the ryegrass, the fescue. I don't see any Timothy in the stand yet. It comes quite later, like that'll be the second flush when it regrows. But the orchard grass and no clover in this section has sprouted. Again, that's usually the second crop that gets tall and starts blooming when the dots of red of the clover are out. We got yellow mustard out there. I just love a lush pasture. All the different shades of green. It is really one of the best places to be out in the middle of a field like this. On my regular walk last night, moving fence lines, I identified, without even struggling, I didn't even classify things like this weed, which I forget the right name. I call it cleavers. Identified 17 different species just looking around, growing in this field. And that is what it's all about, right? It's about biodiversity, not a monoculture, different heights, different things, different adaptability, different survivability of species, hopefully, and different flavors, because that's what we're really after. The cheese is a direct expression of this field, or all our fields really, but my management of the grassland, and now our butter, which has been wonderfully written about by a local author, local cookbook author and food writer. Yeah, it is. The food we produce on this farm is a direct reflection of grass. And so I want as much diversity and adaptability and character in the plants I feed so that it's herbal rather than grassy, right? That's grassy implies that one note, fresh, lush, yeah, but green, yeah, but not herbal. Herbal is complex. And those are the reviews we get about our cheese and now the butter. And that's truly what this is all about. Cows, Jerseys, are my chosen harvesting vehicle. The chosen way I sell you and get you to eat this grass. And they do a great job of it. They're one of the most efficient grass harvesters on the planet. I do hate, though, when they pull up the plants by the roots. That's not cool. Plantain. All right. I got that. My list. So anyway, yeah. So you, whenever you eat our butter, buy our cheese, have a steak that we produce, you're eating and tasting this field and the other fields on the farm that the cows directly graze, but also the silage that I manage. Again, looking for diversity, looking for multi-species swards. Say that 3 times fast. And so unapologetically, this channel is rather grass heavy because that's what I do. I get May, June, it used to be end of April, but May, June, July, August, September, really to 5 months to grow a crop, harvest it as many times as possible, get it to market, as it were, but also those 5 months harvesting for the rest of the 7 months. And that's why it's all grass all the time in the summer for me. It's pretty much all I think about all year round because I have to make plans for overseeding and buying seed and what do I want to include, what's growing, how do I get things to grow better. Yeah, it takes a lot of knowledge, it takes a lot of thought and time and observation to get it right, and you don't always get it right. And don't anyone ever let you believe that farming is an unskilled job or that farmers are somehow lesser or dumb, because within our specific job, whether you're got a college education or not, you know a hell of a lot of stuff about what you're doing to produce the crop or livestock that you raise. And that all counts towards something. I didn't learn rotational grazing overnight, and I am still constantly learning. And for that matter, I'm still constantly making mistakes and having shit years. Because every year is different. Every day is different compared to the day before anymore, compared to last year at this time. Yeah, it ain't ever easy. Now, heifers are doing a pretty good job munching stuff off. I wish they would eat more of the taller stuff, but they are thinning it out compared to what the cows are leaving behind. I'm going to leave them in here today and maybe tonight still in the section they're in. They did a really good job grazing this off mostly. So I'm going to reel in this back fence. You can already see regrowth on the section that they haven't been in for a few days, where this back fence has been. I don't know, you can't see it along the line here, but when you look at the height difference between where they graze just under the line, like right here, where they could reach under the line and where is growing up. So it's good to see that that's starting to regrow so quickly, because I need that in about 25 days. It's hard to believe that it is Sunday, the 31st of May, the last day of May already. Don't know where this month has gone. And we got a late start grazing. We usually try and start grazing the end of April. And I would have been on my second rotation by about now, or starting the second rotation. And part of that is slowed down by the amount of grass that is growing. But these cool days, cool nights at this point are good, because it means the grass is going to slow down, not get too much farther ahead of us. But also, it's just hard to predict. It just makes everything really, really difficult to clock. Had this been a normal May, we usually get a 15 to 20 day regrowth window. So this would already be kicked way off where I grazed them. Down below is already started, where they grazed first is already starting to amass. It may be ready to regraze by the time we're done with this field. And that's just in the matter of grazing this field, and that the time that they've been in here is time enough for it to regrow down below, because the little pond field that we started out in is actually, for whatever reason, the best producing field on the farm. Now, maybe part of that is having pigs on that piece for so long, and the nutrition built up, and the fact that it gets just enough groundwater running down the hill, but not too much that it feeds it. But it is the best producing field, and that is one of the things that I've learned recently. Rotational grazing, you do it by the numbers, right? You do it by days, by cows in, cows out, so many paces, so much area per cow. It's all tends to be measured by the animal. And you leave set rest periods, 15 days, 30 days, 45 days to regrow. And it's all about that. But what it isn't about is what's best for the grass. And since I started grass measuring, what I'm finding is that on the same farm, with the same soil types, in basically the same climatic conditions, although this is a big field that gets a lot of sunlight, and it's tilted to the downhill to the north, so it doesn't get a lot of hot sun on the slope, but it can dry out. It's drier here. It's 10 degrees warmer here on a hot day than it is in the forest. So there are little climatic conditions like that are different. But some of the grass down there grows way faster than this field, and some grass down there doesn't grow as fast as the other grass down there. But if I was just doing it by rotation, by days, by numbers, I would be just rolling the cows across the farm in a circle, one end to the other, all the way around and back to the beginning after the set number of days, and just do it. Rather than say, oh, that little field down there, I'm sure I've mentioned this before. I'm sure I'm droning on about grass and you've probably fallen asleep, but I think it's important. I think it's interesting. By taking the grass measuring, I'm finding that I'm getting the best utilization of the grass by matching its growth rate to the consumption of the cows, so that I may have to skip over a field. I mean, technically, if I really wanted to right now, and I don't know how that is on the back end. I haven't figured that out, given I'm playing it cautious because of the weather and a mosquito on my hand. I could cut this for silage. If I was totally ready, I'd cut it for silage, skip ahead to the next best growing field and start grazing those ahead. So, I mean, it is what it is this year. I'm not ready to cut that because I don't have all the equipment ready. But if I did, I would. You know what I'm saying? And I would pay the price or not, or benefit. So it's always different. There is no standard. You just, same equipment, always different field conditions. And you just got to be ready to adapt to that. And the tools that I'm using seem to be helping with that management decision. And part of all what I'm doing now is working through all of the stuff I'm going to share with the group that comes in July for pasture walk, to see about how we manage grass on this farm. And I'll talk about grass measuring and boluses and rotations and mixed species and grass, man. It's all about the grass, right? It's all about the grass.
Going where the sun keeps shining through the pouring rain.
Just made my way around the heifer paddock, sowing, broadcasting a little seed. I put out, it's just starting to rain. I'm hoping that we've got a few hours of a nice gentle rain. Get this seed washed in and start germinating in the heat for the next few days. It's got up as high as 62 today, I think. Could be warmer yet tomorrow, and it's gonna be sunny for a few days. So if we can get the seed germinating, then this mud patch will stop being bare. I really think it's an eyesore, but we needed a sacrificial paddock this year for the heifers. This worked well. Now I'm overseeding it with a mix of peas, oats, daikon radish, I think, turnip for sure, vetch, red clover, and maybe some grass seed. I don't know what was in what I swept up off the floor that I spilled. And then definitely some Japanese millet, a lot of Japanese millet, because now that we're in a warm season, I want something that'll grow. And so that in the heat of July, we can come in here and graze something on here, I hope. All these things should handle the excess nitrogen in the field well, because there's a lot. I wish I'd had some rye. There was a variety of rye I was going to get, but I never did place a seed order. Just I realized I have quite a bit still on hand. So I want to burn through last year and the years before seed before I spend any more on rat food, basically, because what I couldn't fit in a freezer, a dead freezer, I stacked on top of the freezer, and I noticed some of the bags have been chewed. Trying to capture an eagle flying right across the middle of the field, and camera wouldn't turn on soon enough. It is pouring rain. Luna has separated herself in with the heifers because one of the heifers is in heat, and she's been riding her quite hard. I just hope she doesn't try and break out to join. Come on, let's go. The rest of the herd and loosen the heifers. Well, after a lot of argy-bargy this morning, we managed to get these two in with the heifers. Luna went in last night because Demeter, who's a heifer, was in heat, and somehow Luna got over the line in with the heifers to play games. And then this morning we found Mabel in there as well, hopped over the line, I don't know what. No fences were down. So we took the opportunity to stretch new front line for them, giving them a section of what the cows had grazed yesterday, and got all in, including the 3 dry cows. The only problem is, of course, awkward Tethys and Ganymede are still behind in the old grazing cell, but they'll get, now that I pulled the water out, they'll come down looking for water this afternoon, and I'll move them in. Yeah, so as long as the dry cows just set their head to grazing and don't miss the milk cows while the cows are in milking, I think we'll be set. Luna seemed to have settled right in. Plenty enough food for all of the heifers now and the dry cows to follow. Because I mean, this is what I'm giving the cows. That's what they ate yesterday, last night, and there. Doesn't look like much difference. There's about a 60% thinning in volume between what's ahead and what they've eaten. It's that other, I want another 30% grazed off though. I want about 90% utilization in the first round. And that's what we're kind of getting with the follower system right now. It saves me from topping. So hopefully now the 3 dry cows will eat more than the heifers. The 3 dry cows will eat as much as the 6 heifers. So that's good. It'll clean up faster. That means I can keep everybody moving more consistently, get the pasture resting, get it regrowing. Because yesterday we had, today's Monday, by the way, and it's the 1st of June, rabbit. It's relatively nice out today. Yesterday was cold. It's easily 8 degrees warmer right now than it was yesterday. Yesterday was just cold and damp and drizzled all day, which is great for the water table and the cool weather stopping the grass growing, but also it's making the fields wetter, so harvesting is going to be an issue. I'm still thinking about cutting an acre down at the end of this field and getting it baled. I like to run my equipment somewhere and do something simple and make sure that it's working and not going to break down or have an issue first thing out. So that is a tempting concept, and it looks like it's going to be dry and in the 70s this week with sunshine. So maybe by the weekend, if we don't get any rain, if nothing changes and we're not there with the cows yet, I may do some. It just depends. It's with this rain and the fields being wet, I don't think I can get out. I'll do a grass walk this week, obviously, but I don't think I'll get out on any of the fields for silage in another week because they're so wet. And our field here, yeah, I can graze the cows. Even if the grass is too strong, I can graze it off with the cows rather than, if it seems to be too wet, rather than try and get the tractor and equipment. Baler is the heaviest issue. It's the tractor and the mower can go by, the tractor and the rake can go by and generally not swamp out the ground. But I do notice that after I've mown, typically the next day, if it's wet, the field will be wetter just from the ground pressure of driving back and forth, and the water rises to the surface, makes it sloppier on the second day for raking. It's when I get that big heavy baler out on the field that really shows how wet the ground is. So yeah, we want to avoid that this year as much as possible, but also we still want to harvest quality grass. So the rest of the state has totally different weather. Their first cut's almost done in places. Silage is being brought in this week. Yeah, it's here on the coast though, no chance, not a chance right where we're at. Wet, everything's too wet and getting by too much. I mean, I really, in the next 2 weeks, this grass has got to be cut or grazed, because by then it's really going to get really low nutrition. Birdsong here is incredible this morning. Absolutely wonderful to hear it. Just getting ready to move the baler over there so I have it on a flat spot where I can service it for the season and get it cleaned out and ready to go. Yeah, it's I'm gonna try and not do it on the pavement this year. Just to keep things a little tidier. We've got our first event on Saturday coming up. If this is going to sit there, I don't want it to be in the way. So I'm going to have to do it on the stonework. Hopefully, I don't think this thing needs any repair other than changing out that sensor. So unless I find something, it's just basically lubing it, getting it cleaned out, test its functions, and getting it ready to go. So it shouldn't take much. I can do it on the stone. working on it. I've got it opened up. I moved it so I could get it set, and I'm replacing, oops, well, that's not convenient. I just dropped the damn thing. There we go. I just had to take out this very inconveniently located sensor that senses when the bale ramp goes down and comes back up. So when you dump a bale, you open up the tailgate and it says, okay, the sensor says tailgate's open, start paying attention to the bale ramp. So the bale comes out of the baler, hits the ramp goes down and then comes back up, and that opens and closes a circuit on the sensor saying that tailgate's up, bale's out and has cleared the ramp, you can now close the tailgate. And last season, I don't know, you can go back and look at the video of my last cut of horrible last few cuts of silage when that sensor wasn't working. It was a nightmare. I managed to get it to get me through the end of last season by tricking it with a magnet. I have a video of it, I think. And I fought quite a few bales with it on second cut. I think all of second cut pretty much I fought. Anyway, it wasn't worth it at the time. By the time I figured out that I was gonna, it's a $275 part basically. I didn't have that money at the end of last season spare. Certainly not to invest. Sorry, I didn't do my maintenance in last season. The baler's plugged full of rotten hay and it's wet. And I'm trying to get it out in places that I can get it out so that the stuff underneath can dry out in this wind. Anyway, I keep seeing stuff. Sorry, it's kind of obsessive. So I didn't want to spend the money at the end of last season because I'd gotten it working and there wasn't that much left to do, and why spend $275 and then not reap the benefit of it right away. So I pushed it off till now, and so I've ordered it. So the part's coming. I'll be here in 3 or 4 days, which is fine because I don't think there's no chance that I'll get in the field to bale within 3 or 4 days. That's for sure. If the weather continues as nice as it is today with this breeze and the warm temperatures in the 60s, it could actually start drying out the fields. And then I could possibly think about cutting like Friday or Saturday and then baling Sunday or something like that, just as a test, just to get things going. We'll see. So yeah, I did not do, obviously I was very disheartened at the end of last season. I didn't do my due diligence and clean out all this chaff and stuff and clean the baler down properly like I should have. I wish I had, because it's a real mess now. So I'm going to spend the rest of today picking away at cleaning the thing, blowing it down, trying to get as much crap out. I see I still got mud plugged up in places. Some of these guards and shields are bent. I didn't realize that last season. I'm going to have to take the knives out and sharpen them and do some things like that. So I'm just going to pick away at this week and work on what I can. Right now I've got it all opened up and the belts loosened and everything, so I can get in up above and try and get that mud packed out from around the scrapers. Quick Jet update. She is fully integrated with the littles, and the older four really, but Zuzu shot through already to get some milk, but the older 3 calves are eating grain and silage. Jet's here, just took to the sucker bucket, thankfully. No hassle. And my idea of leaving this gate here with a little flex in this side pen, so the smallest 3 and Zuzu, who manages to squeeze through, can get in there, but the bigger 3 can't. So it's sort of a self-sorting gate there. What do they call it? A creep feeder kind of thing. But anyway, the other 3 are too fat to get through there, which is great. Sometimes Miles can shove his way through, but not tonight. So yeah, I'm happy to say this is working out beautifully, and Jet is thriving in there with the other calves. She finally stopped calling for her mom. So Wednesday morning, I guess, and we're putting the garbage together. Wednesday is our garbage day. And I look out and there's no cows in the field. None whatsoever. So I go down to the barn. The dry cows are now back in with the lactating cows, and the heifers were in the lane and scattered around the pathway back to the barn. So I drove them out. Come to find, one of them must be in heat. They broke the middle in-between lines, mixing the dry cows, heifers, and cows. So we just managed to get the heifers caught and back where they belong. I doubt we'll get the dry cows caught again anytime soon. Anyway, that's set us back an hour on an already overwhelmingly busy day. All right, I gotta move this front line. I gotta go milk cows. The good news is fencing supplies are arriving this week. Bad news is I'm out of time. I don't have time to be fencing right now. It took me a day longer than on the Baler already than I intended because I hadn't cleaned it out last year. It's far dirtier than I was anticipating. Lots of little niggly maintenance things and some things that I overlooked the past 2 years that I wanted to address this year. So I'm tackling all of that stuff. And I got to put another full day in on it today just to make sure it's ready. Because when it's ready, I got to go. I got to jump on things and get in the fields. Because this grass is going by fast. And the more, grain's going to be wicked expensive this winter coming. And the higher quality, the better, the more feed I can produce, the better. So, excuse me, this is already too late. This conditioned grass headed out like that, it's already losing nutrition by the minute. And I got to get it caught ASAP before it loses much more. And so we have a chance, however slim that may be, so we have a chance at second cut. So hopefully, the fencing stuff's coming this week. We're grateful we won a grant, $1,000 grant towards fencing from this organization here. And that's going to make a lot of difference. It allowed us to be able to fence a little more than we were going to, and to fence a little, excuse me, pollen. And to fence a little faster than we were going to. So we're actually going to buy some fence posts just to help speed up the process, so I don't have to keep drilling so many holes. And so within that fencing supply stuff coming are some new grazing reels, so I can get rid of or take out of rotation a couple of the damaged reels with old wire on them, which are full of frays and breaks and don't transmit the voltage very accurately or well. And so that'll help stop cows getting out, heifers breaking out. It'll also help keep up the voltage on the whole system. And we're getting a new fence charger, so we can get that one put in and send the other one out for repair. And that will also help stop livestock outages. If the fence is just that bit more zappy, a bit more reliable, then they won't get through it as often. So despite the setback in the heifers and a hassle of them getting out overnight for whatever reason, and the fact that the dry cows are now in with the dairy cows, so they're going to be putting pressure on the higher quality feed. I think I'm liking this setup because, for one thing, I know where the heifers are. I'm seeing them, we're interacting with them every time we're out in the field. Instead of, what we usually do is put them off in a field by themselves let them graze it out, and then move them. So, you know, there we're only checking on them twice a day. Here, every time I look in at the dairy cows, I'm seeing the heifers, which is probably better from a management perspective. It is just a bit more of a hassle because now every time I move the dairy cows, the heifers are chasing around in the background. So anyway, let's hope they don't get out again. I gotta go make sure their water trough is on. This one needs filled. Hopefully that grazing stuff shows up soon so I can get the float valves and the new water system up and going soon too.